very good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to Eat. This is the Camnet Breakfast Thursday edition. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Today, I'm riding solo because Mr. Soko has a bereavement. We are with them, though, in prayers. And we just want to welcome you on this breakfast show edition. We have a number of stories that we're going to be zooming in as usual. And we will be looking at the new morning boost as we have promised. It is here today, and you'll be able to see different people at least giving you those fresh exercises, at least in about 5, 6, 7 minutes, to just keep you started. And remember that exercises are an important part of our lives for us to flex our muscles, for us to just start the day on a healthier note. Let's look at morning boost this morning, and thereafter we'll continue the breakfast show. Of course, we will also look at how the Kwacha is faring against the major competibles, and as usual, we'll bring the health corner. Let's look at the morning boost.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chol. We're from Cho's Fitness Gym. We're a fully functional gym located along Twin Palm Road in Kablonga, right by Cheshire Homes Society of Zambia. So we have various classes that happen from Monday to Friday. We have aerobics, we have boot camp, we have step aerobics, we have spinning, we have kettlebell classes. They happen from 18 to 19 hours every day, and we are open from 06 until 20 hours. That's Monday to Friday. Then Saturdays 6 to 12. And then Sundays we are closed, and most public holidays we are open 6 to 12. So you're welcome to visit and come and train with us. And for now, I'll show you certain exercises you could do from. Thank you. Hi ladies and gentlemen, Cholwe again here. I'm going to show you a few exercises and do to get you fit, to get the blood pumping. So with every set of exercises, you need to start first with stretch, which is very, so we'll do a few stretches, and you place your hands together and touch the floor, and you can hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you can go side to side, you twist. That's 1. We're gonna go for 10, 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9, and 10. All right, then you're gonna place your hands like this from the back, hands behind, and then you're gonna stretch that back and hold it for 10 seconds. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you want to stretch, hands behind and stretch. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we can go for 10 here. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then behind, that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you can stretch your feet. Just hold it for 10 seconds. If balancing is hard, you can always hold somewhere. So you hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the other side, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. So the first exercise we'll do 1 minute. This one is good. Basic jumping on the and back with the hands. We'll go for 1 minute, and make sure your hands touch. So modified version, if you can't jump, you can always go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to show you the full jump in just a minute. It's 6. Okay, that is 1 minute. That's approximately 55. So the next one, push-ups. We'll do the modified push-ups. So we'll go for 1 minute of push-ups as well. So with the modified version, you want to place your knees in this position, move to the front. Here we go. All right, and you go down. So the key is for your elbows to point out. That's 2. This is the modified version. Like that. If you can't see from this angle, I'm gonna turn. Like that, modified. If that's too hard, place your feet on the ground and go like that. So you put the push-ups for 1 minute. And now I go into the full push-up. Go down, stretch. Stretch. I like to breathe when I go up. Others, you can go as fast as you can.
All right, that is the morning boost there from Cholwe, and today's exercise is blood pumping, and it's from Chozi Fitness Gym, just right here in Kablonga, in case you want to pass through and have your muscles flexed, or just to have a fitness plan. Obviously, these guys will help you get in shape. I've just been telling Elijah in the background to say you need to start going to the gym, at least, you know. It's either you have the muscles or you break them. You know, you don't need to be round. You don't really need to be round, because when you're gaining weight, sometimes you just become all round. You know, sometimes exercises are not really to burn the fat, but to just help you keep fit, to flex your muscles. Because if your muscles are not flexed, you find that just stretching your hand like, yay, you feel like the world is crumbling on you. That's the exercise for today, blood pumping from Chozi Gyms. And we wish that you could actually do these exercises in the morning as we play them to just kickstart the day. Let's look at how the Medical Women Association of Zambia have brought us this morning.
Good morning. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ, and I'm going to take you through burns. I'm from the University Teaching Hospital. So I would like to take you through burns because it's one of the most important topics that we face almost every single day. We are always facing a lot of burns, patients with burns. We are losing our patients with a lot of burns. So we want to highlight you about burns, what you need to know about burns, what you need to understand about burns, how we treat burns. We want to discuss everything with you. So burns, what is burns basically? We need to understand what is burns basically. So when it comes to burns, burns takes place when you have like something really hot touching your skin or something really cold touching your skin. For example, if you have hot water pouring on you, it may burn you, yes. If you have hot porridge or hot oil touching your skin, it may also burn you. If you pour acids, if you get electrocuted, all these things are burns, and they are so injurious to health that we end up losing a lot of people every year. Every year we are losing quite a number of people, which we don't want to lose. We can avoid some of these injuries just by getting to know what they are, how to go about them, how to prevent them, and how to stay away from their complications. So when we talk, what are the things that may burn us? Like majority of the times you find that you are cooking, especially when you come from the low income families. You are cooking using braziers, so you find there are children who are walking around, running around. Once you leave that brazier alone with hot water or porridge, something cooking on it, it pours on the child, and actually the child gets burnt, which is so devastating because some of these things can be avoidable. Children are here to have a good life and not to get burned and end up in hospital. Some of them, they lose their lives. Others, they actually make it. Others don't make it. This is how it is. So when it comes to burns, we have, types of burns that take place. For example, there are 3 types of burns actually which happen. So one is superficial. It's quite superficial. So that happens with hot water, oil, porridge, some of these things, and it only burns the skin. It doesn't go, our skin has got multiple layers, but it does not really go penetrate much into the deeper part. It's quite superficial. So that is the first type of a burn. Then the second type of burn that we have, it's a little bit deeper than the first type. So, for example, it gets your skin and a little bit deeper into your skin. So that burn, you'll find that it also occurs with acids, then other corrosive agents, then fire as well. Fire also causes quite deep burns. So these are second type of burns. Then third type of burns are really, really deep, that actually also burn your bones, your other organs. They actually go very deep into your body, and they burn quite a good amount of your body, which is sometimes very, very difficult for us health workers to also handle that burn, especially if it's really, really a great percentage of burns. So some of these things can be avoided by simple precautions. For example, when you're cooking, please make sure that you cook in a place where children are away from that place. Ensure that your children are not nearby so that they are protected from burns. Yourself, when you are doing all these household things, please ensure that you are also protected completely from going into this injurious part. And also in terms of we have noticed also those people who are like mechanics and they deal with cars. You find they open up their radiators without waiting for it to cool down. So we have patients who actually come with like deep burns secondary to that, because make sure that you wait for the radiator to actually cool down, then open up, because majority of the time if you open it up with the way it is hot, you may burn your face, your chest, your neck, and it may be deep burns, which also can be protected. So in burns, we can also have cold burns secondary to really frozen part. For example, we have certain diabetic patients that have suffered from what we call nerve disorders. So they have this habit of putting their feet on cold water all the time for hours and hours because they don't feel that they have put their feet in cold water, but sometimes you find that they put their feet in cold water for hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. Those actually cause they are very harmful to your feet. You may end up burning them because you're overcooling them. You're cooling them and you may end up burning them more. That is also one way of burning, because those people think that by putting their foot on the cold water, they are actually feeling better, but they are actually causing more injury to their health, which is also one type of burn. So please look after yourself when it comes to burns, because every year we are losing out almost more than 10,000 patients approximately countrywide due to burns. Some of these things can be avoidable and some of these things can be protected. So please keep watching our channel and get to learn more and more. The more you watch, the more you learn about our problems that can be actually solved without even coming into our institutes. So please keep watching Camnet, because we'll be bringing you different types of topics, different types of exciting things to talk about, and lots of things that you're going to learn about. Please stay tuned with us and see you tomorrow morning again. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ, and I'm from University Teaching Hospital. I'm working there as a general surgeon.
All right, that is the health corner. This morning, the doctor is talking about burns. I actually didn't know that putting your feet or any of your burnt parts in cold water for a long time is actually causing more harm. Usually when we feel the heat, we do that and say, okay, but I mean, the doctors have clarified and have directed to say it's actually one of the things that will create more damage to you as a person. Let us ensure that we heed to what they advise. Of course, it's not exactly what we may be going through, but it may help somebody out there. However, if you missed this segment, you can still go to our Facebook and rewatch this broadcast so that you can get to understand exactly what they are bringing across. You too can also suggest what you want the doctors to talk about. We always insist on this because this is your platform, and therefore it's important that we get feedback from you. Let's look at how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles. The euro is buying at 15 kwacha 19 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 21 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 18 kwacha 46 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 82 ngwe. The United States dollars is at 16 kwacha 06 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 38 ngwe, while the South African rand is at 0.89 ngwe and selling at 0.9 ngwe. Those are your money markets as of today, the 3rd of November 2022. Remember also, these money markets vary from one financial institution to another, but of course they trade within the same range. So if the kwacha is at 16 this morning, 16.03, obviously somewhere else it may be 16.02 or slightly higher than 0.3204. We go straight to zooming one of the stories that we did yesterday. It's been trending at least for the past 2 days, and this is regarding the NDC president, Savoy Mbwela, where she spent day 2 in police custody. And yesterday, Prudence Cheta was there at the police and had a conversation with the National Democratic Congress NDC Vice President Axon Kaonga, who passed a vote of no confidence in the Zambia police, who he says have failed to follow the provisions of the law in handling cases. Speaking at Kabwata Police, where the party president Sawoi Imbola was being detained for defaming State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka, Mr. Kaonga says he is disappointed that police have been delaying to bond Ms. Imbola even when the case she is being detained for is bondable. He says the act by the police is an infringement on human rights, which makes the current administration no different from the past administration. Let's look at the story, and you can call in and have a conversation with me regarding this. Just as a rider, she is expected to appear in court this morning, I think around 10, and we will follow up the story. Miriam Kaimba obviously is always there for us to bring us those juicy court stories, including this one. We will follow it and see how it unfolds as the week ends. Let's look at the story.
The National Democratic Congress NDC leader Sawoi Imbola will have to spend a second day in custody at the Lusaka Kabwata police station for the offense of defaming State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka. Despite the offense being bondable, Ms. Imbola remains unlucky to get a bond on a second day, with the reasons not yet known. Meanwhile, NDC Vice President Axon Kaonga says he is disappointed in the manner in which the police officers have treated the matter, saying it goes against human rights as the offense allegedly committed by Ms. Imbola is bondable while police have refused to grant her bond.
Sureties are many. We have got more than 6 who want to sign for a police bond. We are wondering, a bearable case. Just allow the officer, the Zambian citizen who has been arrested or who you allege that has committed an offense, to go to court. Give that person a bail, and then you can make the necessary arrangement to take that person to court. This is a bailable case. And you see, when the state starts using some institutions, then they are now, it's bordering on trampling or stepping on citizens' human rights, and we will not condone that.
Mr. Kaonga adds that the country is slowly losing its ways when it comes to protecting human rights, and adds that the conduct of the current administration is not different from that of the previous ones.
We want the government to show that they are fair to their own citizens. There is no president who can be a president if there are no citizens. So to me, even all these parties, they are there because they are guiding the citizens what they are supposed to do. So a citizen, if he has done something wrong, let the court process take its course. So we are so disappointed that these darlings are not making us, this government, look healthier. People will start making a lot of insinuations about the government, that this government is actually trampling on people's rights.
Meanwhile, lawyer to Ms. Imbola, Joseph Chira, when contacted for a comment, says police have refused to grant his client bond, but that she will appear in court tomorrow, Thursday, 3rd November 2022.
We don't know why they haven't given a police bond. She has met all the conditions, so we don't know why they are failing to give a police bond. But they are claiming she will appear in court tomorrow.
We will continue to follow how the matter will unfold. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
I don't think we are fools. I don't think we are dumb. I don't think that we are in there just for ourselves. We are in there to help the Zambian people, and we can't help the Zambian people. We can't serve them when we are serving our own interests. So I'm very sure that before the next general election, we are going to see a very strong opposition. Why is it important to have a strong opposition? Because it holds the government more accountable than we currently are. We've heard sentiments from the UPND saying that opposition, there is no opposition. Of course there is opposition, and we all talk. But then because they don't regard individually each one of us as strong enough to be a threat to them. But God does things in different ways. So let's see what happens before 2026.
Corruption is among top priorities on the agenda for the United Party for National Development, UPND, and President Hakainde Hichilema is on record having said that his administration will fight past, current, and future corruption. And law enforcement wings have echoed similar sentiments, the statement. However, recently, the country witnessed allegations involving Ministry of Health officials with screaming headlines in the media on scandals $100 million contract. Patriotic Front Media Director Antonio Mwanza says no one should be shielded nor condemned without allowing the due process of investigations to be instituted and concluded.
She must come out clean and give the Zambian people a correct position. Did she meet these people at her home? If they were meeting at her home, what is it that they were discussing? Was it about her package, or it was about what the ministry was supposed to benefit? The government business cannot be dealt at a private residence for somebody. These issues are very, very serious. And again, the president is quiet. I think Zambians must know that the Anti-Corruption Commission, the Financial Intelligence Center, the Drug Enforcement Commission are housed at State House. This must be made very clear. A statutory instrument was passed last year to house these important institutions at Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's State House. We stood up and condemned that move because we wanted SCC, DEC, Zambia Police, Financial Intelligence Center to be operating independently. But now they're not operating independently. This corruption in the Ministry of Health, the buck stops again at the president. Why is the president ignoring the corruption scandals in the Ministry of Health? Why is the president failing to move on Marcel? Why is the president failing to take responsibility and make sure that one Marcel is relieved of her duties or at least suspended until these matters are cleared off? The president is quiet.
Meanwhile, Action Aid Interim Country Director Musonda Kabinga shared similar views, saying it is only prudent that respective investigative wings undertake inquiries and based on their findings, clear the matter or present it before the courts of law. In reference to the alleged corruption on the awarding of a tender for the construction of prefabricated hospitals, he says dragging people into serious allegations without investigations infringes on the rights of the accused.
We cannot have matters of corruption become wild and prolonged subject without bringing them to a close by the concerned investigative wings. No one should be shielded nor condemned without allowing the due process of investigations to be instituted and concluded. It is only prudent that respective investigative wings undertake investigations and based on the findings clear the matter or present it to the courts of law. Dragging people into serious allegations without investigation could somehow infringe on the accused rights. We therefore urge the relevant investigative wings to come to the fore and investigate the matter.
Our attempt to get the perspective of the Ministry of Health on the matter proved futile by broadcast time. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
All right, have your say on these stories that we're in. Just to run you through, New Heritage Party President Shala Kateka has predicted a tight race in 2026. According to her, she says, we have a credible opposition political cadre and people who will challenge President Hakainde Hichilema in 2026. Isn't it too early, though, for people to be talking about 2026? However, she was responding to some of the queries and comments from various sections of society saying we don't have a credible opposition cadre in this country. She says we are on firm ground as opposition political parties. She also cited the new political party for Harry Calabar. He's been there in the political scene, and just I think last week he launched his political party known as the Citizens First Political Party, and he hopes to be on the ballot in 2026 by God's grace. Equally, Shala Kateka, those who were in attendance during the official launch of this political party for Harry Calabar, they saw a number of opposition political party leaders, including herself, Shala Kateka. There was Sean Tembo, there was Chilufia Tayali. I'm not sure if they are opposition political parties, but we want to hear your views on these stories. Let's also look at this story just to run you through. It's already been played. where Patriotic Front Media Director Antonio Manza has challenged Health Minister Silva Masewo to come out clean over corruption allegations. Now, you and I are aware that social media has been set ablaze with rumors, including these WhatsApp groups of ours where we belong. The Minister of Health, Silva Masewo, has been accused left, right, and center insofar as corruption is concerned at the Ministry of Health. This ministry, apparently, it seems it's prone to corrupt activities and people are always on the lookout. So we want to get your views on these stories that we played so that we can get interactive and just have your say on these stories, really. Remember, you may not actually confine yourself to the stories that we played. You can also call and just tell us exactly what's happening in your various localities. As I always say, you may just see the Camnet red car in your vicinity talking to you and bringing out those challenges that are being experienced in your localities. However, since I don't have a caller, I'm going to actually talk about the issue of agriculture and climate change. Remember that in the past years, we've had challenges insofar as having proper rainfall is concerned. Zipporah Mshala went to the Met Department to talk to them and find out exactly what type of rainfall are we going to experience this year. And the Zambia Meteorological Department has predicted a good coverage of rain in the 2022-2023 farming season, noting that most parts of the country will have above normal distribution of rainfall. Speaking to Camnet News, Zambia Meteorological Senior Meteorologist Peggy Tole notes that parts of the country, like selected areas in Kaputa and Ikelengi, had an early onset of rain season as early as October 2022, while most of the country are expected to have the onset of the rain season by the second week of November 2022, with parts like Eastern Province expected to have a delay in rainfall as late as December 2022. She urged farmers to get frequent weather updates before proceeding to plant to avoid planting too early. This is actually one of the most important story that we did, especially that we are in the farming season. Farming season actually starts in November, October, November, for those that depend on rain-fed agriculture, of which most of our people in this country, most of the small-scale farmers depend on rain-fed agriculture. Therefore, it's important that you know exactly when your area is going to have what type of rainfall and what type for you to plant actually the right crops. Remember, some crops are drought resistant, some crops need a lot of water, so you need to know exactly if you're going to have normal rainfall or above rainfall. Some crops get destroyed when it overly rains, others don't. Let's pick the score and talk to one of our callers. Hello, good morning.
Yes,
good morning.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Lusaka. My name is Lazarus.
Okay, Mr. Lazarus, please go ahead.
Yes, I've got one concern regarding immigration in Zambia.
Yes.
There is a document going around where the minister declared that there are 17 countries.
Yes. We can hear you.
There are 17 countries in the world, including United Kingdom, United States,
yes,
China, and some countries from Asia,
yes,
which have been given the right of free movement into Zambia. Those are those who love to come here to Zambia without visa refund.
Yes.
The question is that how on earth can we allow these countries to have their citizens come to Zambia without visa requirements, without having an international treaty. In other words, I mean hard law contract that is signed by Zambia and those countries, so that we can have a reciprocal of Zambians also entering these countries without visa. Unfortunately, it's very dangerous for Zambia to allow these foreign countries to have their foreign nationals to enter Zambia without a visa.
Okay.
Because the only way a country is a sovereign state is by having comprehensive or substantive immigration controls. You cannot open your borders for every Jim and Jack from these countries to come into the country. In other words, you are allowing both criminals and other bad people from these other countries to come into the country. Because when you say free movement, these people will enter the country by just saying, oh, those who are coming from United Kingdom, come on this line. Those who are coming from China, come on this line. Of course, it is very dangerous for us.
Okay.
China has over 1.2 billion people, and they are looking for a place to stay. You can't allow the entire population of China to come to Zambia. What are we thinking about our future generations? Where are they going to stay? And it's very, very sad that it is not possible. It is rocket science for a Zambian to enter United States without a visa. It's rocket science for a Zambian to enter United Kingdom without a visa. You have to fill in a very complex application form, some of which are 90 pages, in order to enter this country.
Okay, Mr. Lazarus.
Yes, sir.
The minister yesterday, I have a statement, part of the statement here, where he said it will just be for a tourist visa and not any other visa.
When you say tourist visa,
it's for those that are just coming for a short time and leaving.
Yes.
And also he says it's aimed at boosting the tourism sector. Isn't this supposed to be a good thing for us as a country?
It is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. There is nowhere. I worked under immigration in the United Kingdom. There is no way, there is no reasonable explanation to say tourists can come in the country without a visa. That's how you get your money. It's getting the money through visas. We don't have even proper tourism structures here. People pay for tourism, for trophy hunting in other countries. They will pay for a trophy hunting while they are still in the Germany, while they are still in the UK, while they are still in South Africa. That's why they pay there. Most of them come here in Zambia and they spend nothing. The money they spend here is very little. Most of it, they have packages which they pay for in other countries. And there's nowhere in the world where a country says, no, coming to for tourism. There's a lot of tourist attraction in the United Kingdom. You can't go there to go and see Buckingham Palace for free. You can't go and see Loch Lomond for free. You can't go even to the United States to see the Grand Mesa for free. So all those issues of talking about immigration control is very important. We can't believe that everybody is going to come for tourism. They'll come here, some of them are going to stay. How many illegal immigrants do we have in Zambia? We don't even have the records. There are so many illegal immigrants. We are exposing our security of the nation to the world. Some of these people who are coming from these countries, they are countries that are known for terrorism. Okay. What would stop those people to come and grow terrorism here in the name of tourism? We can't do that. There's no country that does that. You can't open borders saying, oh, these are just coming for tourism. We have a lot of natural resources in Zambia, mind you. Mm-hmm. So the people will say, I'm coming for tourism, while they are coming for, minerals and other things. We can't do that because we will not be able to control that. All right. Thank you so much, Lazarus. We appreciate your call, your views on this important topic. Let me just read through this story. Actually, it was done by Miriam Kaimba, so that maybe we might have missed one or two details. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo says the recent decision taken by the government to waive visa requirements for a few selected countries is a move meant to help boost the country's tourism sector. Speaking during a media briefing Wednesday, Mr. Mwimbo says government is creating an environment that allows visitors to come to Zambia to sample many attractions and unique cultural heritage sites. He adds that following the visa waiver, the number of tourists and investors is expected to increase in 2023. Recently, Zambia waived visa requirements for its largest source markets, including the United States of America, United Kingdom, Canada, Norway, Australia, and the EU, who will no longer pay to purchase a visa to enter Zambia. Let's look at this story and get to understand what Mr. Lazarus is just from talking about. According to him, it's actually a no to allow people have free entry into the country. Let's look at this story, and when we return, you are free to comment on any of the stories that we just zoomed in.
In a bid to promote tourism, Zambia recently waived visa requirements for selected countries. Zambia tourism sector boasts a wealth of natural assets such as waterfalls, lakes, rivers, and diverse wildlife species. The sector is an important contributor to the country's economic development through job creation, foreign exchange earnings, contribution to the gross domestic product, among other things. President Hakainde Hichilema recently said the recent budget speech placed a strong focus on increasing the number of foreign visitors to the country. And speaking during a media briefing Wednesday, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo says the policy pronouncement to waive the requirement could not take effect on the 1st of October, has announced during the budget address for the following reasons, among them legal framework.
In light of the waiver of the visa requirement for the selected countries, the Department of Immigration has been working round the clock to develop post-entry management measures to ensure that the new visa regime does not compromise internal security. The ongoing recruitment exercise, for instance, is part of the measures that will ensure that we have more officers on the ground to enforce compliance with the immigration law and regulations. Overall, the Department of Immigration has made adequate preparations for this policy adjustment. This means that the nationals of the above listed countries will not require visas to enter Zambia. However, I repeat, however, the waiver of the visa requirement does not guarantee entry into Zambia, as the final decision to grant permission for entry into Zambia rests with the immigration officer at the point of entry.
Tourism and Arts Minister says the move to waive the visa requirement on the few selected countries is beneficial to the country in so many ways.
It sells Zambia as a destination because we are a healthy destination and we are also a safe destination. Here's us meeting the 3 million international arrivals. Honorable Minister, we want as many tourists to come here, be it for leisure and as well as business. And as such, we have also inputted in our 2023 budget more incentives for that business tourist to be able to come and invest. What we want to see in Zambia is not only people coming to enjoy our sights and scenes in Zambia, but also have an opportunity to partner with you, the yearning entrepreneurs in Zambia.
Growth in the tourism sector slowed down in the second quarter of 2021 to 3.4% from 4.8%, recorded in the first quarter of 2021. The waived visa requirement for the largest source markets include the United States of America, United Kingdom, Canada, Norway, Australia, and the UAE will no longer need to purchase a tourist visa to enter Zambia. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
All right, that is the story that Mr. Lazarus, our caller there, was just expressing concern over. But the minister was very categorical to say, yes, the waiver has been made, but also it's not that they will just be coming in and out. It is also dependent on the immigration officer at the point of entry. We surely hope that all these regulations, all these things will be enforced during that time, so that people are at ease. Maybe you can also have your say on this story. Should we just allow people to come in and out of our country, especially with the increase of the Asian community in our country? When you move around these communities in Lusaka, not sure about other provinces, but in Lusaka here, we have a lot of people of Asian origin in our communities. Makombon, I think, let me just use our local language for it to sound the way it should. You know, a long time would see them in selected few areas, Kumayadi type, but now it's Mumakombon, like in the ghettos. You find Chinese nationals, for example, a lot of people, like, they've bought these to my houses, they've refurbished them, they've remodeled them, and they're looking good. So really, they are being integrated into the ghettoist, if I told there's such a word, of our communities. What are we expecting to see in the next 3-4 years? Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Sharon, calling from Lusaka.
You are?
I'm Sharon.
Nice.
Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Yes, please. I'd like to concur with Mr. Lazarus, the previous caller.
Yes.
On his concerns about the migration status in Zambia. Okay. I don't agree. Like you said, I don't agree with this visa waiver. Currently, as a country, you know, I've been rated second as the South African Africa with the most illegal immigrants. So instead of us addressing this problem, we are adding to it.
Yeah.
We really care. The minister is saying the immigration department will be able to control, but they've never been able to do that. Okay, that's why as a result we have illegal immigrants, people who came in illegally, claiming to be Zambians now. They're even holding our NRC because our immigration department is so relaxed. They're not doing their job. They're so flexible, relaxed. Okay, so we are supposed to be addressing the issue of illegal immigrants instead of making it worse. The UPND government should know that we remove the PS government. Actually, this is one of the reasons that Zambians were concerned. We are concerned about the so many foreigners in our country who are living illegally here. If they wouldn't go to our NRC, because even our NRC department is corrupt. Okay, we are very unpatriotic as Zambians. We think about our pockets instead of the security of our country. So Mr. General Budakmimu should know is there. He should be there to defend the country. Okay, to instead of compromising our security. The security of this country has been compromised whether we like it or not. And why this however, to evidence, I don't think that the number of agents that we have here, we feel threatened as a country. They should control it instead of making the situation worse. We have so many agencies, like Mr. Rado was saying, the challenge is big. Okay, the population is so large. The example, where if you go and just in a short period of time, okay, since from the UPS, the NMD Kaituna, when you go around the country and see how many buildings the Chinese have made in all kind of areas here, okay? So instead of making this one, actually we seem to, in our desperation, we are compromising our security because we are so desperate to make money. How much is the tourism sector going to contribute? I mean, we need to waste that. We're wasting our compromising our security. This government should be looking at it encouraging Zambian investors to invest in their own country rather than looking outside. I didn't even like the thing of the minister, the vice president going to India to entice more people to come here. We should be looking at it ourselves. We're promoting local investors. There are too many foreigners as it is. There are illegal immigrants, too many of them. We are second to South Africa. We should be concerned. We shouldn't be desperate just because of money. Now, our resources here, we can make our own money here. We don't need those people here. After they're coming, we're not making money. We're not benefiting from our natural resources because we're sharing it with too many foreigners.
Okay.
Okay, if we can get hold of our natural resources and account properly, we won't even need the people money from outside. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
So this government should look at controlling this issue we have of the problem of illegal immigrants.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm always excited to have women call, but then today having a Sharon calling, it's actually an icing on the cake. I'm very happy about it. Thank you so much, Sharon, for calling. You too can have your say on some of the stories that we zoomed in. It seems that the story for the waiver, visa waiver, is taking center stage. What is your say on the story? Should we allow people to just walk in and out of our country in the name of tourism? What really is the tourism sector? How much is it contributing to the national coffers, really, for us to take that route? Let's pick this other caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, thanks. Please tell me your name and where you are calling from.
I am now from Rwanda.
Now, please go ahead.
Yes, this issue of foreigners is very much in Rwanda.
Okay.
Yes, you may find that here in Rwanda there are a lot of Chinese who are living illegally. In the mines area here, they have created a Chinese compound. So this is where they are settling themselves. Yes. There are a lot of illegal Chinese there. So the government should come and take a look on this here in the mines area.
Okay, so how are you living with them? Are they integrated in the community?
Here in the community, the Chinese, there are no Chinese here, but in the mines there, yeah, they are brought themselves there. Yes, we know that there are a lot of illegal Chinese here. The ones who have entered our country illegally.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Commonwealth representing there, like I mentioned, the issue of security and bringing in foreign nationals into the country in the name of tourism. What is your say on this important topic? Is it threatening our security as a country? Should we go that route at the expense of boosting the tourism sector? Maybe when you call, you can also offer solutions to what should be done to boost the tourism sector. I mean, this is a topic that has been discussed a number of times on various platforms, various forums, that we need to boost the tourism sector. And others actually have come out to say it's very expensive for the local people. That's why we keep having foreign nationals having these things. Let's pick this other call and talk to them. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Hi.
Yes, what's your name, sir?
Sabon.
Mr. Who?
Sabon.
Mr. Sabon. Okay, we lost that call. Please call. I think that one is the BMAX try. Mr. Kabong. BMAG Malone. The guys from Minkeling. Anyway, that's the breathe. But yes, indeed, these people have names which are really, really funny. You can have your say. Actually, maybe those tourists, when they come, they would want to go to this locality and just understand their names as a tourist attraction. Indeed, you too can call us and have a conversation with me. One of the stories that has taken center stage really is the issue of waiving these tourism visa requirements, and the minister, however, insists to say this is entirely dependent also on the officer in charge at the point of duty, that is the immigration officers. However, let's also look at one of the stories that we ran yesterday. Constituency Development Fund continues to be a thing of interest at national level, community, and almost everywhere, where this story was covered by Prudence Chota, and she says Monali Member of Parliament Mike Mposha has announced a release of 9,606,347 million kwacha under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund for the implementation of various activities in his constituency. Speaking at the unveiling of the CDF funds in Monali Wednesday, Mr. Mposha said the resources will cover community projects, youth, women, and community empowerment, as well as secondary boarding school and skills development. Let's look at this story. Also, we will zoom it together with the story from Petauke District, where government has approved 950,000 Constituency Development Fund for the empowerment grants under Sinda and Kapocho constituencies to 46 youth, cooperative, and women clubs. Let's play these stories back to back.
The long-awaited release of the Constituency Development Fund CDF in Monali constituency of Lusaka has finally come to pass after Area Member of Parliament Mike Mposha Wednesday announced the release of 9,606,347 million kwacha from the initial 25.7 million kwacha 2022 CDF allocated to his constituency. The minister, who was in the company of Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala, councillors and CDF Ward Development Committee members, says the resources will go towards 3 key areas, among them community projects, youth, women and community empowerment, as well as secondary boarding schools and skills development.
Thinking of the president, the thinking of this government is that we must empower young people, we must empower women with skills, so that we should not all the time be lining up for jobs. White-collar jobs are not enough to go around the entire population.
The Area Member of Parliament could, however, not hide his joy as he bragged on how Monali has become the first constituency in Lusaka to begin the implementation of CDF, which will include the grading of feeder roads and plain surfaces, which will be done by the Zambia National Service at a cost of 6,600,000 kwacha.
This Monali constituency, as we speak, we are the first constituency out of all the 7 constituencies in Lusaka who have managed to procure and start implementing the community projects out of the 2022 budget. Sometimes when people are saying, hey, Tapalefe to them, you look at them and say, development, you need to think, plan, and then implement. It doesn't just drop like manna. You need to think, plan, and begin to execute.
And the Area Member of Parliament has since directed the Lusaka Mayor to deal with the issues of bars and alcohol abuse that have been rampant in the area, causing a lot of confusion to motorists.
We can't be selling beer in an open place where you go there, I park there, and I'm watching our children, very young people, abusing alcohol. And the community is complaining. That road gets closed. has the power to close a public road in order to do business. Your Worship, I want this to be the thing of the past by this weekend.
And Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala is happy to see the development and has called for prudent utilization of the resources.
Minister, I can assure you that all actors involved in the selection of bursary beneficiaries and community projects have been performing their roles independently without any interference.
And the Ward Development Committee chairperson also added his voice.
We want to promise and assure you and your government, under the competent and able leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, that we will support you, sir, in your quest to develop Munari constituency for the benefit of the communities.
The implementation of the projects have since begun, with the grading of these roads in the area being faced. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
$950,000 Kwacha Constituency Development Fund CDF for empowerment grants under Sind and Kapoche constituencies to 46 youth cooperatives and women clubs have been approved by the Ministry of Local Government. The grants are part of the 25.7 million CDF allocation for this year in each constituency. Various cooperatives and clubs are expected to venture into different businesses and improve their livelihoods. John Machai is Senior District Council Secretary.
Prior to this program, we had an orientation, an intensive one, where the recipients went through an orientation so they're able to appreciate the money that they're going to receive and how they're going to use them. And then, present here today, we have about 45 groups that are going to receive that money. And the total amount of money that is available today is more than 900,000.
Kapoche Member of Parliament Lakson Lungu is grateful to President Hakainde Hichilema for empowering marginalized people in the communities.
Ntenge mpata uyu nonge kwambiri a president watu aziko lino aichechi ofuna kuti asebenzere bantu muno mziko latu la Zambia, ofuna kuti umphawi auteseko kuti zimene anapromisa pamene analuchita kampeni ziluchitika. Ndiye chenti tandize government by doing the right things. Ngati isendera matatenga taindogawana ndekuti government si tandiza munjira yamene ifunikira.
So ngati munatolinga ndalama kupasa na president yondakana pasogoro sinde kabwenani cholinga kapa mtu cholinga ngati timu cholinga sinde kabwenani so ngati watakomoza ndalama makagawana nzanu sinde kabwenani.
Sinda District Commissioner David Tembo is urging CDF beneficiaries to put the money to good use.
Now, the desire of the president, the desire of the members of parliament, and everyone else, all the stakeholders, is to see us profit and benefit from these funds. They may seem to be little, but if we prudently use them, we are going to see value out of them. It's to see value out of that 20,000 that you've received.
And one of the beneficiaries, Dorothy Banda, has assured government to use the money for the intended purposes. Sambo David Petauke, Eastern Province.
Constituency Development Funds Empowerment funds, they are being dispersed both in Lusaka and Sinda District, that's Eastern Province. Thank you so much, Sambo, there for bringing us that story all the way to Camnet TV. Now, Ishimpiyesh, anyways, we hope that the people that have received these resources will put them to good use and return them. Sinda MP there, Masauso, was actually very clear to say this money may seem a little small in figure, but if you put it to good use, it will multiply, and you'll be able to return it so that other people can also benefit. Just as a reminder, that is under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. So 2023 disbursement will start soon, obviously in January 2023, but most of the resources were not dispersed. So we'll see, I think, more of this disbursement in various constituencies, because we only have about 2 months to concluding this year. Remember, we are riding on these stories that we zoomed in, and we surely hope that you've made peace with some of the stories, you've understood them in case you missed some of the details, and from the various callers that came through for us. Thank you so much for taking time to actually explain how you feel about certain stories. The winner for this morning's stories is the Home Affairs story, where the waiver has been given to tourism visas. No much requirements will be needed. However, some of the protocols will still be observed. In case you are just joining us, we are actually in the dying minutes of the show. We appreciate your viewership. You can still watch the broadcast of this on our socials, that's YouTube and Facebook, in case you've missed it, and follow it up. You can still comment. We want to know what you feel about some of these happenings in our country. As the main topic was current affairs, we were talking about various issues happening in our country, and you being part of this country, you are a custodian of what is supposed to be done, and therefore it's important that you have your say and offer specific direction on how you think certain things need to be done. Of course, they may not agree with you, but your voice needs to be heard, and that's why we are here. Of course, we also zoomed in the story for Savoy Mboila, where she spent day 2 in police custody, and today around 10 hours she is expected to appear in court soon. This is one of the cases that has actually been done fast forward and we surely hope that at the end of the day we will get more information regarding this issue. She is actually detained for defaming State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka, and her Vice President actually expressed disappointment for the police's failure to offer her bond, and he hopes that today maybe they will manage to bail her since the matter has gone to court. We also looked at the New Heritage Party story, Shalakateka, where she is confident that 2026 will be a tight race for presidential level, and also Patriotic Front Media Director challenging Health Minister Silva Masewu to actually exonerate herself over the corruption allegations leveled against her that have been going around for the past weeks. And this ministry is always vulnerable. We also looked at the money markets and also new morning boost. Very exciting, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode of Morning Boost. That's where I leave it this morning. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I really appreciate. Shout out to Sharon, my namesake. Very excited that you called and spoke to your fellow Sharon. Join us again tomorrow on Business for Breakfast from 7 to 9. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Good morning.